Okay, it's okay. We can start? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. As the Russian aggression against Ukraine has entered its third month, we continue to get reports of shelling of civilian targets, of targeted urban settings, of civilian infrastructure, causing maximum suffering and damage. Millions of refugees have already fled the country, and in even larger numbers are internally displaced, shaking Ukraine and shaking really the whole region. From the images of people executed in Bucha to the remnants of Mariupol's bombarded theater, where hundreds of civilian refugees have perished, or to the mass graves discovered around Kiev, Russia's war of choice has unleashed immense suffering for the civilian population of Ukraine. There are many countries that have rallied support for Ukraine, either through military equipment to help the country defend itself, or through humanitarian aid, or through opening their homes to refugees. But there is also another important aspect of this support, which is of a different nature, and that's the political support for Ukraine in the international arena. Confronted with this unprecedented aggression, accompanied by the Russian machinery of propaganda and lies that aims to distort the reality on the ground, as well as provide a false narrative for this unjustifiable war, we all need to continue to speak out. We all need to continue to tell the truth and continue to mobilize support for collecting and documenting facts on the atrocities committed in Ukraine. Perpetrators of these crimes must be and will be held accountable. We are heartened by the unity of purpose that has emerged with respect to the documentation of war crimes committed in Ukraine. We all agree on the importance of ensuring that anyone responsible for atrocities in Ukraine is held accountable in accordance with the rule of law. And this is also the main purpose of this Arria-Formula meeting organized by Albania and France with the cooperation of Ukraine. This meeting will bring together member states and key actors involved in the documentation of crimes committed in Ukraine to identify how such efforts can be supported and further coordinated as to ensure the effective investigation and prosecution of those responsible for such atrocities and war crimes. I would also like to commend and pay tribute to your work, to the work of independent professional investigative journalism, to your colleagues that are working in Ukraine in very difficult and challenging conditions, sometimes putting their own lives at risk to tell the truth behind this senseless war. And it was the horrible photos and reports that emerged from the towns near Kiev that triggered such global revulsion as first evidence of what amounts to be a widespread and systematic use of violence against the civilian population in Ukraine. It is thus essential that all such crimes are thoroughly documented and are ultimately used in a court of law. This event will seek to mobilize all efforts, including the ICC, the Human Rights Commission of Inquiry on Ukraine, as well as the Group of Friends on Accountability for Ukraine, also United Nations member states through national prosecutions in states with universal jurisdiction over atrocity crimes or jurisdiction over the crime of aggression, as well as civil society. Justice and accountability should prevail for Ukraine and for the Ukrainian people, but also for the international community as a whole, in order to restore confidence in the international law and in multilateralism that have been so severely damaged by Russia's war of choice. Thank you.
Can we ask a question, please? Can we ask a question?
Is Putin a subject of